JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 18th of July 2022. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFDbrokers.com website, which I believe you can find it useful, so check us out here. Now then, guys, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. The index is closed today, Japan is closed, so and on Friday we saw this nice push to the upside. We're still within this kind of pattern, within this ascending triangle pattern, and on a bigger picture, we are still within the broader range here. So guys, Nikkei will be. Let me just quickly double check. I think they're opening tomorrow. Yep, that's correct. So they're going to be open tomorrow. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how this is going to play out. Of course, keep your eye, if you are trading this, keep your eyes on the futures market, because I mean, how it's going to trade in Europe, in Asia. Asia today kind of rose, basically probably followed by a good rally in Europe and US on Friday. So that had a positive effect today on the Asian stocks. So we might see Nikkei also pushing nicely to the upside. However, as I said, keep your eyes today on the market. On the European and US markets, because if those suddenly decline, then we might remain in this little pattern here, the ascending triangle pattern. But if we continue to rally, then don't expect this one to stay maybe inside this area. We might see a push through this barrier, and we might see a nice opening gap here above this barrier. However, this is just pure speculation. Let's see how actually this is going to work out. Now jumping into Shanghai Composite, guys. So Shanghai Composite did push nicely to the upside, and we climbed back above this 3,263 territory. In a way, I would say this idea that I talked about previously, I said that if we drop below this hurdle, then further declines could be possible. But we didn't really stay for too long below this hurdle. So if you did have a nice, and it did have a trade, for example, in this situation, in this area where on a breakout to the downside here, where you managed to capture some of this move, but let's say if you were holding this position, I mean, this is a good example to show when, let's say, if it initially works out in your favor, and it does show you a nice breakout, you have to quickly put your stop loss just on a break even, just in case such a scenario happens. I mean, for now, like I said, it's one of those moments, one of those situations where you need to be very careful all the time with this one. And at the moment, although we are traveling back above this 3,263 territory, I'm not saying that I'm becoming very, very bullish here yet, because in general we are below all of the EMAs. So in order for me to get comfortable now with the upside, and this is where a few adjustments I will make, this is the I'll remove this upside line. So I would prefer to wait for a push above the 3,356 territory, somewhere around here. You can see that previously it acted as a good area of support, then resistance, then support again. So if this time it might, it might act as a resistance again, but let's see if we can actually break that and, you know, push higher. At the moment, I am I'm gonna just observe this one, to be honest. This is not really picture perfect for me. So, and another thing is that yeah, the fact that we're below all of the EMAs still, that doesn't really, you know, make it a very, you know, positive picture yet. Now, Australian index, so the Australian 200, ASX 200. So, if you remember, last week I kept on talking about this one, and I said that, look, I mean, we could be seeing here a nice little triangle pattern here. I mean, this was the case, but what I said to you before, that in order for me to go, let's say, lower on this one, I not only that I need to see a breakout through this triangle pattern, but also through the 6,521 territory. We did get a break through the lower side of the triangle. We did test that 6,521, but look at this. I mean, we traveled back up, we traveled back inside the pattern, and well, this is one of those moments where you have to be very careful with, because look at this. We pushed back up, and we're currently stuck here in this still in this pattern. In order for me to go higher, not only that I need to see a break of this upper side of the triangle, but also a push above the 6,694 territory right there. This way, yep, more buyers could join in, and we could go a little bit further north, maybe towards this level, the high of the 28th and 29th of June, near the 6,746, or towards this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 20th of April. So, in general, if we do see that move to the upside here, this move could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. Now then, the German index, DAX. Okay, so beautiful move on Friday. Look at this, pushed back up. And I said to you on Friday that in order for me to go further south, because look, the initial idea here worked out. So we, after dropping below that 12,668 territory, we moved to the highlighted territory here, the 12,439. But I said that if we want to see further declines, we need to see a drop below this whole highlighted area here. Maybe even better below the 12,391 zone. So a nice good drop below it will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, further declines could be possible, because as I said, a forthcoming lower low would be confirmed. With the upside, now looking at this, we can see that a nice beautiful reversal back up. So what I would like to see here now is a nice good push above that 12,912 territory, somewhere around here, because you can see that it recently acted as a good area of resistance. If we do clear that level and we climb above the 21-day EMA, then yes, further declines could be possible. At the cash index, I think it is, yeah, it is. We are already above this barrier, so that's going to be quite interesting. So yep, we have the psychological 13,000 level coming up. So if we also clear that, then well, guess what? More buyers could join in. So at the moment, let's go slowly on this one. I would say, given that the cash index is already above this 12,912 territory, I will say that if yes, there is a good chance that we could see, you know, a nice move higher here. But let's put it this way: as long as it stays, as long as it continues to trade above that 12,912 territory, if it does that, then yes, I'll continue aiming to the upside, especially also if it pushes through that psychological 13,000 mark, and then yeah, we'll go for higher levels here. Dow Jones Industrial Average, guys, look at this. This was the best performing index on Friday in the US from the top 3 indices in the US. Nice push back up here, so a few adjustments have to be made. So previously I talked about this 30,432 level. We broke that. We tested the other target here, the 30,167. Okay, but we failed to move below it. So now what we can do here for the downside, we can keep an eye on this little hurdle actually, because just to be a little bit more on the safe side. Now, although my arrow is drawn here, let me just move this one away. Although my arrow here is drawn below this 29,653 territory, but that's going to be my initial target. And if that gets cleared, well, a forthcoming lower low would be confirmed. So, but of course, at the moment, we are examining a potential move higher. So, what we can expect here. The cash index, the index closed on Friday below this downside line, but the cash index right now is showing some positivity and basically showing some willingness to move higher, because at the moment the index is sitting at around 31,380, something like that. So basically above this area, slightly above this downside line, and in order to go higher, and this is where probably I need to adjust a few levels, or probably going to grab this line, and I'm going to keep an eye on that 31,511 zone. So that's going to be quite interesting to see if we can actually clear that area. If we can, then yes, I'll go for the further upside, and I'll aim for that 31,885 or the 32,000. Of course, it would be much better, but I would say as long as it stays also above this downside line, then of course there is a good chance to see a move higher. But just like I said, to get more comfortable with the upside, a push above the high of the 8th of July, or in other words, the current highest point of July. If we clear that level, then yes, that's where more buyers could join in, and we could start aiming for that 32,000 mark, or let's say the area around it. Now, Nasdaq was the least, or say the worst performing index on Friday, still closing with a nice 1.83% gain. So, yep. Let me just expand this a little bit. I think can we see it? There we go. Now we can see it a little bit better. So 1.83, yep, so that nice good gain here. And yeah, as I said to you before, we might see maybe a nice ascending triangle forming here. So if that's the case, then, well, this is going to become quite interesting, or could become quite interesting for the buyers. But let's have a look at the cash index right now. Let's very quickly. So yeah, we're trading above the psychological 12,000 mark, so that's a good sign. But we're still below that 12,176 territory right there. So in order to go higher, I need to see a nice good push above this barrier. And if we do get that nice good push above this barrier, then my next target is the 12,897, or even that psychological 13,000 mark. So again, let's not rush into anything. For the downside, this is where I think I'll adjust a few lines here. So this downside line has to go, and for the downside, this needs to be adjusted like this. So yeah, there we go. So a nice good drop below that 11,499 level here might do the trick. More sellers could join in, and we could start aiming for the lowest point of June, near the 11,037 mark. So let's keep that in mind, guys. At the moment, we're waiting for that nice good move. Can we get that breakout? Well, at the moment we're closer, of course, to the upper side of this potential pattern, of this potential kind of ascending triangle pattern. Can we get that breakout? Well, again, according to all the TA rules, this tends to break to the upside. However, until it's sitting inside the pattern, you cannot really, kind of assume that, because it could still drift to the downside. There is still a probability for this one a good probability for this one to move lower. Now, the DXY, so the dollar index, there we go, guys. We are drifting nicely to the downside. We've moved back below this 108.58 level, but there's a big but, because basically, looking at this, I said to you previously that, look, I mean, we could see a correction here, but if it stays somewhere above this 107.48 territory right there, then maybe, yeah, we could see a nice rebound and a push higher. However, if it drops below this and stays below it, then my next target is the 21-day EMA, or even better, the 105.79 level right there, and then we will take it from there. So although we are seeing a nice little correction lower here, okay, that's fine. Could be good news for the for the sellers, but not yet, because also, I mean, if we start drawing some lines here, then basically, you can see that we are still here. We still have some room towards this upside line, the short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low, the 30th of May. So yeah, I mean, any move lower could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. Now, looking at gold, okay, finally we're getting a bit of we're getting somewhere actually here. So seeing a bit of a retracement. However, of course, the bulls should not really get so excited yet, because, well, I would say, keep your eyes on this downside line, guys. Keep your eyes on the downside line. Still, there is a chance for this one to drift lower. Although, don't get me wrong, the downside line is a little bit on the tentative side, but nevertheless, it could still provide resistance. I mean, overall we're still in a downtrend. So at the moment, what we're seeing here is just maybe a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. So. And of course, again, with DXY, if suddenly this rebounds here and pushes higher, then, well, I mean, gold could, resume its decline. So be very careful with that. So if you're looking for a little bit something more reassuring, now I do have this level drawn here, the 1721, 22, actually 22, more closer to that, 1722 territory. Still, I would prefer to see a break of this downside line and then go at least towards that 21-day EMA, because at the moment, yeah, it's still tricky. I mean, we could see a push higher, but let's be very careful still. WTI oil, so seeing a bit of a rebound here, but don't get me wrong, this could be seen maybe as a possible bearish flag, guys. I mean, look, we have our pole, we have our little kind of retracement here, which is not significant, and yeah, if this ends up to be a bearish flag, well, guys, I mean, this could end up traveling further south. Now, previously, what I said to you, that in order for me to get comfortable with the downside, I need to see a drop below this highlighted territory here, the 93.56 area, somewhere around here, a nice good drop below it, and if we do see the commodity staying below it, then yes, further declines are possible. We are at a very interesting spot right now because we are resting on that 200-day EMA. However, if it breaks, well, guys, I mean, this might be a good move for oil to the downside. So keep that in mind. For the upside, what I need to see here is a push above the 105 territory, 105.21, somewhere around here, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. And yeah, if in general with oil, guys, I mean, if everybody was expecting this one, and even me, when we were looking here at the beginning of March at oil, it was $129. Well, I mean, the question was, I mean, can it go towards that 150 area? Well, of course, that's why I say don't rush into anything. Always wait for that confirmation break. And at the moment, looking at this picture, I mean, it's kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside, but a certain confirmation break is required, like for example this one, and because it could still, for example, push higher, break this downside line, push higher, move back to this 114.79 territory, and then drift back down. So we could see something like that. And also maybe this could be part of a kind of a bigger, let's say, descending triangle pattern, so something like this, and maybe this could be something like this. So yeah, I mean, there is plenty of ifs here. If you're looking for a certain direction, then wait for a certain breakout, I would say. Okay, so the crypto world, so that's going to be quite interesting. Of course, the weaker dollar is, giving a bit of a boost here, so especially to these cryptos against the US dollar. So BTC USD, which I have here, is nicely pushing, or at least trying to push higher. I mean, the question is, can it sustain this, situation sitting above this downside line? I would say it could, however, all dependent on, of course, DXY. At the moment, the crypto interest, I mean, has faded off a little bit, but of course, there are some still, enthusiasts who are jumping into crypto, seeing value here. And don't get me wrong, comparing to where it was previously, or should I say, just maybe, at the end of the year or even at the beginning of this year, yes, it does, show some value, but is the decline over? Well, this is another thing, because at the moment, looking at this picture, if we just look at this, let's say from from around the mid-April period, yes, we can see that yes, we're breaking this downside line, but will it not end up being just a false breakout? Okay, so just we need to kind of wait and see, guys. So yeah, let's see. Let's wait for this. Let's wait for this a little bit more to settle, and then we'll do something about it, because at the moment, what I would prefer actually, I would prefer this one to move above that 22,490 territory and to stay above it, just to get like that extra confirmation. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna start being very, very bullish here. No, I'm just gonna aim for that. Let me just grab an arrow here. I'm gonna aim for that 25,338 level, or even better, probably for that 100-day EMA shown here as the green line, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. I can see in the chat room there is Samir. Samir, yes, good morning to you too. Good morning to everybody else who's joining in. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful start of Monday. I hope you're all had a nice chilled weekend as well, so you're prepared and fresh for a new week. But yeah, guys, coming back to the charts now, like I said, that's the situation with Bitcoin. Yes, like I said, we're breaking the downside line right now. Can we remain above that downside line? That's a good question, because if we can, then we probably would see the XY maybe also drifting to the downside. But again, let's see how this is going to play out. For now, I'm just watching this 22,490 territory for the upside, for the downside. Now, although this is not really picture perfect, this level here, the 19,892, approximately around there, or let's round it up, 19,900. I understand that we violated this area several times, but the reason why I'm keeping it on here, because it's the highest point of December of 2017. That's the first big rally, the first big peak that we had here after we kind of entered this prolonged several year, how many years? Let me just about 3-year pause, I would say, and until we kind of saw our strong move to the upside again. So, Ethereum. Ethereum also pushing nicely to the upside, obviously. And most important, this is what I kept on talking to you about last week. Basically, I was talking about this, and I said that, look, for me, when we tested the lower side of the range, I said, well, wait, because again, we need to see that a good move below this range here in order to consider a further move to the downside, or we need to see a breakout to the upside through this upper side of the range in order to consider a move higher. And yeah, we got that move. Okay, so great. Look at the strong move here that we had on Saturday. So we had that strong move to the upside. We broke above it. On Sunday we retraced a little bit, and we're now pushing higher. Now, what to expect next? Of course, we're approaching the downside line, taken from the high of the 3rd of April. And what I said to you previously, that in order to go to the upside, yes, I need to see a break through this range. Then I will aim for that this downside line, and then I'll just take it from there, because don't get me wrong, there is still potential for this one to retrace back down. But if we do break this downside line and stay above it, my next target is the 1700 level, and then we'll take it from there. Of course, a nice good pop above the 1700 zone may attract even more buyers, but around here, depending on how this is going to trade, around here maybe we'll see the 100-day EMA just approaching that 1700 level, and then everything would, all the stars would align in one thing here, and then yes, we could maybe see a breakout and more buyers joining in. But again, let's get to that point first. Let's go slowly, and let's not rush into anything. Even for the the strongest kind of crypto bulls, I would say just have a little bit of, cautiousness, and let's, like I said, at the moment that we were seeing, yes, it's a good move, but will it be enough? That's, like I said, that's the question. AUD and ZD. So I talked about this one. I said that, look, I mean, from the shorter term perspective, we're seeing this triangle pattern, and so far it's working out nicely. And I think that I've drawn this one marking these two lows, but I think it's better to mark this because this is a little bit more accurate. So you can see that so far we are holding on here nicely inside this pattern. I'm waiting for a clear breakout. For the upside, of course, I need to push through that upper side of the triangle here, and then I'll go to the upside. For the downside, I need to see a drop through the lower side, but the only problem with the downside is this upside line, which is taken from the low of the 19th of November of 2021. So if we drop through the lower side of the triangle, then we might hit this upside line, which could still provide support, and we could see a nice rebound. So that, be very careful with that, guys. USD CAD, just a quick update. Look at this, guys. I mean, I said that if we stay above this 1.3077 territory, I'll continue kind of aiming higher, but this is what we got on Thursday. And then on, well, sorry, not Thursday, on Friday, we drifted back down, and look at this, guys. We're testing this upside line again, which is providing support. I need to see a clear break below it in order to go lower, but then we have the 23.6% retracement here in the Fibonacci. Actually, this is the old Fibonacci. I mean, I think it's time to adjust this, and I think that maybe it's time to put something like this here. So either way, guys, actually this level here, this is the one that I have highlighted. It's working out either way. Doesn't matter which way you're going to draw the Fibonacci. So yep, it's kind of here, and also here it was the 38.2. Now it's the 50%. Okay, so that's quite interesting. Okay, so a break through the upside line may attract more sellers, and then yeah, we could go to the downside. So with the upside, I need to see a move back above this hurdle, above this 1.3077, in order to get comfortable with slightly higher levels again. USD CHF, just a quick update. We have dropped below that 0.9764. Yes, there is a chance for this one to drift further south, but we do have the 21-day EMA, which I'm carefully monitoring. I said that to you last week. So although if we drop below the 0.9764 territory, I'll aim for this 21-day EMA, and then I'll see what it's going to do near that area. If it clears this, then yes, I will aim further towards the 0.9642 level. GBP USD, so this one's a little bit of a mess. We are near this downside line right now, so let's say it's yeah, it's quite interesting, quite attractive, but can we go lower here? I mean, can we still move back to the downside? Well, that's a good question. I would say in order for me right now to aim to the downside, I need to see a drop below this area, below this 1.1676 territory, oh sorry, 1.1760 zone. That's the current lowest point of July. If we drop below it, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. For the upside, a push, and this is where I need to adjust. There we go. A push above this barrier, the 1.1967, might do the trick, might attract more buyers. Then they could lead the pair towards a larger correction here to the upside, towards this downside line taken from the high of the 21st of February of this year. Euro CHF. If you remember, this is just a quick update. Last week I talked a lot about this pair because it's quite interesting what it's forming right now. I said that, look, I mean, such patterns tend to be quite bullish because when we have initially a huge decline, and then we start, let's say, forming we go further south, but within a more of a structured manner here, like for example a falling channel, then there is potential for this one to break out back to the upside. Now I've talked about the 0.9944 territory right there, just to be a little bit more say on the safe side. But for those who are a little bit more adventurous, keep your eyes on the upper side of the falling channel. If that gets broken, this may attract more buyers, and but the only thing here is that you need to kind of keep an eye on the if it stays above it, if it doesn't just form a false breakout or something like that. So keep that in mind. So yeah, probably I'll put my arrow here on a break of this downside, this upper side of the falling channel. If we clear that, then yes, more buyers could join in. However, I wouldn't recommend to do anything yet, because basically we're still within the falling channel. So that means it could still continue sliding. So until we get that clear breakout, we cannot really do nothing, because at the moment the trend is still to the downside. But just to be a little bit more on the safe side, I would prefer to wait for a drop below this 0.98 territory in order to go lower. That's the current lowest point of July, and we clear that, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low. And of course, EURUSD, the big star of last week. So yeah, we drifted lower. We dropped below that parity level 1, and then we kind of visited the area below that, but quickly reversed back up. And this is what I said, that if we drop below that 1 level, but still at the end of the day we still kind of travel back up and stay above that 1 level, then maybe the bulls are not really ready to give up. And that's exactly what we saw. We saw the push higher, and I said to you, look, if we push through that 1.0059 territory, then I'll aim for the upside a little bit, maybe even towards that 21-day EMA. However, because of this being so sensitive, I would say, if now with the upside, I would like to see a push above this inside swing high, or actually not yet an inside swing high, but 1.0122 area, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. If we push through it, I'll go slowly to the upside towards that 21-day EMA. But until we're stuck here, I'm just going to observe this one. I get it, we might be missing out on a bit of territory here, a bit of, but just to be on the safe side, like I said, everything is not as clear as you think. Still, there is potential for this one to move lower, especially if it drops again below that 1 level. So keep that in mind. Guys, I'm very happy that you've joined in to watch this video. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments, but I have to wrap it up here because I ran out of time already. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow at my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. Have a beautiful day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.